Hello everyone, ARG back here, and we have some more hockey today. Oh god, look at my face, it's all blurry. I'm gonna need to be vain here. I like to be vain. I've never been vain in my life. Alright, there you go. Alright, so we're still playing with the Kings, right? And still on the quest here to try to get to the Stanley Cup and actually win it. We are at the start of March, which means that the trade deadline is actually tomorrow. So I was kind of crunched here as far as trying to make trades because I'll be honest, I'm not sure if if I send a trade offer to the computer right now, I don't know if they're gonna answer me in time and that the trade is gonna go through or not. So what I did is that I shopped players and I was like, if there's an offer that that kind of helps me, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Sometimes you get, so most of the times, the trade offers you get from shop a player, like it's always a 1-for-1 deal, and it's like 98% of the time it's like a really crappy offer. But if you've been watching some of my previous stuff with other editions of the iterations of the game, you know that I've been able to get a few different deals that way. I don't think that's what happened now, so you only get to do 3 shop at players. I think it's a month. I know there's a time period there where, so I tried with Jim Fox and I didn't get anything interesting. I tried with Marty McSorley. I didn't get anything interesting. And I know that JT Dutch is sitting there listening to this eventually, probably on YouTube. He's probably shaking his head like, no, not Jim Fox, because I did trade Dave Taylor, so. But anyway, so, and then, I tried with Mike Kruszenki, and I got a trade offer. Now, it's not a great trade offer, but at least the player that I'm getting should be useful. So I traded Mike Kruszenki to the Rangers for Ron Greshner. Ron Greshner is getting old, he's 35, I'm very aware of that, but he's still a capable offensive defenseman. And I don't have a lot of that going on my team. Past Gary Galley, it's pretty barren as far as, generating offense from the back end, which is one of the problems of my team. So I pulled the trigger. Now I know Mike Kruszenki is 29 and I'm getting a 35-year-old player, and it's like, what the hell are you doing and whatnot. But, I have some very firm rules that I have to follow. But Ron Greshner fits. He should be able to contribute a little bit offensively, and I understand he might not stay for very long or be relevant for much more longer, but I am offering him an extension. Hopefully he agrees, and then eventually he's gonna retire and we'll just move on. Mike Kruszenki was not exactly setting the world on fire. I don't know if he had arson tendencies and setting other things on fire, but he wasn't exactly setting the league on fire. So he was 24 points in 52 games, which is not terrible, but it's not great either. So FJ's favorite player goes to play for the Rangers, I suppose. So for the lineup, that means I'm gonna run with 8 Ds on the lineup. I don't want to lose anybody right now. I could send Jeff Smith down, and I thought about it, but I don't really have anybody great to recall to play forward. And Smith has been having a decent season. He does have 25 points in 43 games from the back end, so that's not bad at all. And he's a plus 12 for those of you that believe in that stat. So I'm going to hang on to him. So yeah. So yeah, that's that one trade I made. So I'm hoping, from my understanding of how the free agent situation works, I'm hoping that somebody's gonna sign Jim Fox and Marty McSorley, and that I'm gonna get draft picks, and then I can get, you know, better players with that or something, and we'll move on. So yeah, moving on from the players, and then there's Chris Kontos as well that I would have loved to move, but I don't really have a way to do that. So we're gonna need to, again, maybe we're gonna get picks for him or something, maybe not, I don't know. We will see. Alrighty. So, oh, and we're about to get Ray Shepard back. So, there's that too. So let's get going. I've talked enough. We are still third in the conference. Now, Chicago leapfrog Calgary. So now we're looking at the second spot for now. We're 1 point behind the Flames, 3 behind the Blackhawks, and we all have played 64 games. It's going to be a pretty busy month of March. So, well, let's go. Alright, so Simelaro has been put on waivers for like the 7th time this season, it feels like. Bernie Fedorko has played in his 1000th game in his career. Didn't get a point though, that was against Chicago. Bernie Fedorko is 33, still a 3-star player. Saskatoon Blades alumni, Bernie Fedorko. Alright, Bruce McNall is satisfied with my work. Yeah, we went 7-5-1 in February, so I remember we really struggled at the start of February, but we started to play better by the end, so ended up with a winning record. Bernie Nichols extends with the Washington Capitals. 3 years, $1.11 million total. Good for him. Ron Greshner signed his extension with us. I don't know that he's gonna stay or retire or whatever, but I mean it's a 2-year extension. Brings him to 37 if he stays healthy and everything. Can contribute a little bit offensively if he doesn't drop off too much. So lots of ifs and whats and whoa, but all right. Okay, so Paul Boutier, there's a trade rumor about him. Oh yeah, I'm rumored to be very interested in the half-star defenseman. Craig Muni is also on the block, and I'm actually rumored to want to go for him as well. Charlie Bourgeois is on the block as well. Oh, we're not rumored to go for that half-star player. I thought that apparently we were going for all of them, according to the NHL insiders. It wasn't a thing in 1990, but then we have 2 trade proposals, so I might pull the trigger if that fits, but I'm gonna need to accept them, you know, like for like. So yeah, I'm gonna need to. What I mean by that is I'm gonna need to accept the offer as is, because there's no time to negotiate. Tony Simelaro has been offered to me for Larry Playfair. It's funny, it's a former original Sen that was picked. I can't make that trade for Larry Playfair. I would totally do it otherwise, you never know, but we're gonna have to say no to the Oilers. And the Flyers are offering me Justin Duberman for John Miner. Again, I probably would do that if I could, but I can't. Alright. We did not add, but we're about to get a great addition back that costs nothing, which is Ray Shepard that's about to come back from injury. Alright, so a few away games to start the month here. So that starts today. We are in Winnipeg to play against the Jets. Jets are 26, 36, and 3. That's good for 9th in the conference. We are 3-1 against the Jets this season. Let's see if Ron Greshner gets a 7-point game to celebrate his debut with the Kings. That'd be great, but I'm not going to count on it or anything like that. All right, Wayne. Let's see. Yeah, Ron Greshner plays on the second pair. That was kind of what I was hoping would happen. Playing with Gerald Gallant, and then Jeff Smith plays with Gord Deneen. All right, let's go. Rolly Melanson is going to be in net for the Kings. We're going to be facing Frank Caprice. Go Kings, go! I didn't say that at the start of the last stream, and I went on a losing streak. So it's very important to please the hockey gods. See? 5-2 win. That's how it works. Alright, so we won our first game of the month in Winnipeg against the Jets. A 5-2 victory. We outshot the Jets 32-30. Gary Galley first star of the game with 3 assists. Scott Arneal second star with 2 assists. And Bob Kudelski was the third star with 2 goals. Alright, so the Jets scored first, then Jim Fox scored on the power play from Gary Galley and Wayne Gretzky. It was tied at 1, then Mike Ridley scored unassisted. It was a 2-1 lead for the Kings after 1. And in the second period, the Jets tied the game, and then Bob Kudelski scored from Scott Arneal and Gary Galley. 3-2 Kings after 2. And then in the third period, Luke Robitaille scored from Gary Galley and Marty McSorley, and then Bob Kudelski scored his 10th of the season in an empty net from Scott Arneal and Gerald Gallant. 5-2, the final score in that one. We had some fisticuffs going on as well. In the third period, Ian Duncan fought Marty McSorley, and that was the only fight of this game. Alright. And now we're going to play again in Winnipeg. That is one of those that I strongly suspect was a neutral site game. Oh, am I able to pick up somebody here? Dean Kennedy has been put on with, wow. I can't claim him. Brian Dobbin as well. Mario Roberge has been put on waiver. That's the only one I can claim from that list, and he's just a... Mario Roberge was a face puncher, so I don't really need that. I have plenty of those already on the team. Alright, too bad. And Scott Sanderlin, I forgot about Scott Sanderlin until just now that I saw his name. Adam Oates' point streak ended at 14 games. It was held scoreless against the Leafs of all teams. Paul Coffey extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 2 goals against the Devils. Ron Francis' point streak ended at 16 games. No points against the Washington Capitals. Alright, those players, okay. Oh, and then yesterday was the trade deadline, so there's been a couple trades. Rangers made a trade with the Oilers. That's funny. Jeff Bukaboom is going to go with the Rangers. If that sounds familiar, that's probably because it should. Jeff Bukaboom goes to the Rangers with Jamie McLennan. Oh, God. Jamie McLennan has entered the universe, folks. So, of course, if you're Canadian, you should know about Jamie McLennan. Well, if you follow hockey, if you followed hockey in the 90s, you already might. But Jamie McLennan is now a TSN analyst. So Jeff Bukaboom and Jamie McLennan goes to the Rangers for Mick Vukota and James Lato. So Mick Vukota is also a face puncher. That's interesting. Jeff Bukaboom should be a fairly decent defenseman for the Rangers. I kind of like that trade, but I do think that the Rangers won that trade. And then the Flyers made a trade with the Rangers as well. Wow, Rangers have been active. They traded with us, and then they turned around, traded with the Oilers, then with the Flyers. So Doug Huda goes to the Flyers for Derek Smith. Yeah, not a huge trade by any means. Nobody's going to be talking about that trade for 20 years. All right. Let's advance that. Now we are in Winnipeg again. Pretty sure it's a neutral site game. Right, strong game for Joe Mullen with the Flames. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Canucks, the poor Canucks who are struggling. Memorable game for Rick Tocchet. I wouldn't mind putting my hands on Rick Tocchet. Well, I mean, trading for him. That's all I mean. He had a hat-trick against the Oilers. There was no stopping Dave Andreychuk. 3 goals and an assist against the Nordiques. Pretty good game. Memorable night for Ken Priestley. In that same game, he had a hat-trick as well. And Gerard Gallant is back from suspension with the Red Wings back in the lineup over there. Alright, in Winnipeg yet again. So, of course, now they are 26-37-3. They are still 9th in the conference. And we are playing them again. And I'm going to say go Kings go again, because otherwise I might lose. And this time we're going to have Glenn Ely in net. They are going to have Frank Caprice again. So they're going with the same goaltender. We are going back to Glenn Ely. He's been a little bit more of a starter this year than last season. Last season it feels like he was splitting it a little bit more with Ronnie Melanson than he did this year. Oh, I said go Kings go. What's going on? I lost 5-2. So I won 5-2. Now I lost 5-2. Return of what, the elevator. What's the expression? Oh, whatever. Alright, so 5-2 loss in Winnipeg. We were outshot 34-31 in that one. Oh, Brad Berry was the first star of the game with 1 assist. Dale Auerchuk was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Thomas Steen was the third star with a goal and an assist as well. Luc Robitaille did open up the scoring in the first. That was his 30th of the season from Wayne Gretzky and Gerald Deduck. Then the Jets scored 3 unanswered goals. Oh, we had some face punching going on in the first period. The Jets were angry at the loss last game, I guess. So Randy Carlyle fought Marty McSorley. Then Ian Duncan fought Ken Baumgartner. Then Ken Baumgartner fought Teppo Numminen. Wow. I wish I could get Teppo Numminen. I always liked Teppo Numminen. Not the greatest defenseman that ever played, but he was fairly solid. Alright, then in the second period, the Jets added 2 more goals. It was 5-1. And then in the third period, Wayne Gretzky scored near the end of the game. That was a power play goal from Gary Galley and Jim Fox, 5-2 the final score. So we are 1-1 this month, and we don't have a whole lot of time for tears because we are playing the very next day in Calgary. Keith Acton has been suspended with the Oilers. He's going to miss 4 games. And Paul Coffey extends his point streak to 14 games with a goal against the North Stars. I also wish I could have Paul Coffey on the team. Alright, so we're in Calgary. That's kind of an important game. We are 3 points back on the Flames now. The Flames are 35-23-8. They are leading our division. So we're trying to catch up to them. Same amount of game plays. We're 3 games back. 3 points back, sorry. Wrong sport. That being said, stay tuned for later today. I'm gonna be playing some out-of-the-park baseball for the first time in like 2 weeks. And then we are 2-4 against the Flames this season. So yeah, a win here would be pretty big. Yeah, we really need to get Ray Shepard back soon. We're going to go back to Rolly Melanson for this game. We're going to be facing Rick Wamsley. Feels like we always face Rick Wamsley when we're playing the Flames. And why not? He's been beating us this season. All right, come on, Kings. Give me a win. I want this W with some bacon. Oh, no bacon for me. I hate you. We lost 7-4. That's not good. Yeah, looks like Rolly Melanson was pulled too because the card changed to Glenn Ely's card. Alright, so we were outshot 34-28. Yeah, that's not that many shots for that amount of goals. God, what's his name? Jeff Parker was the first star of the game with 2 goals and 2 assists. Paul Ranheim was the second star with 3 assists. And Jamie McCown was the third star with no points. You don't see that very often. Except you don't see that in high-scoring games like that. You're going to see a guy getting a star like in a 2-1 game with no points or something. But in a 7-4 game, that's really odd. Alright, so Wayne Gretzky opened up the scoring in the first from Luc Robitaille and Randy Ladouceur, then Mike Gartner from Scott Arniel and Wayne Gretzky. It was 2-0 Kings after one. We looked pretty good. Then Ron Greshner finally got his first point as a King from Mike Gartner and Gord Deneen, made it 3-0. Then the Flames scored 2 goals. It was 3-2 after 2. We were still in the lead. Some face punching here. Let's see. Dana Merzen and Marty McSorley went at it. The Flames opened up the third period with 4 unanswered goals in like 3 minutes and something. Then Wayne Gretzky scored from Luc Robitaille and Randy Ladouceur, made it 6-4. But the Flames scored quite a lot later in an empty net, made it 7-4. And of course, that was the end of the game. Brad McCrimmon and Gord Deneen punched each other on the helmet and visor. If any of those guys had visors, probably not. And that was the end of the game. So an ugly loss here in Calgary, and Gary Galley is hurt. Oh boy, we don't need that. Just because I just finally went to get a little bit more offense for my backhand doesn't mean that I need to have Gary Galley hurt. Why do you do that to me? 2 to 3 weeks. Alright, we're gonna need to recall somebody. Alright, Gary Galley sideline, 3 weeks. Strained pectoral muscle. Joe Mullen extends his goal streak to 5 games against us. He had a goal. And Gerard Gallant had a great game for the Wings with 4 assists against the Rangers. Alright, I'm gonna need to take care of... Well, let's see here. His day today, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring Ray Shepard back to the active roster. I understand he can't play right now, but he will soon. And I'll just put Gary Galley on the injured list, and then I'll decide what I want to do once Gary Galley is ready to come back. Now I'm back to 7 Ds on the roster, which is usually what I prefer to have. And then soon enough, Ray Shepard's going to be able to play. And that's going to help. I mean, for a good chunk of the season, we were without Mike Gartner and Ray Shepard, so yeah. Alright. We have a day off today. Paul Coffey extends his point streak to 15 games with an assist against the Oilers. And suspension for Tim Kerr. He's going to miss 6 games for the Flyers. So power forward, Tim Kerr probably one of the very first to be recognized as a power forward. I'm sure there were other players that you could say that they were power forwards, but like the notion of a power forward pretty much started when Tim Kerr was around, and he embodied that pretty good. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna need to take care of that after this stream. All right, we're going back home for a couple games. We're hosting the Habs. Montreal is 31-26 and 11 this season, so that's not too bad. We are 2-0 against Montreal this season, and as you know, that makes me very happy. A 2-0 win in Montreal, and then a 5-3 win at home. So let's see if we can win again here. Right, Alright, so Patrick was going to be in net for Montreal. We're going to go with Rody Melanson. Come on, Kings. Back home. Give me a win. And we lost 4-3. Oh boy. And it starts again. A bad start to the month again. And it's going to sink us. Alright, Montreal outshot us 31-28. Claude Lemieux. It was the first start of the game with 2 goals, 3 bites, a slew foot, 5 penalties, and at least 17 players wanting to punch him in the face. Mike Gartner was the second star with 2 assists, and Bobby Smith was the third star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd here in LA, 16,005. That's the max capacity for the Forum in Inglewood. So Montreal scored first in the first period, and then Randy Ladouceur scored from Mike Ridley. It was tied at 1 after 1. And Montreal scored 3 unanswered goals in the second period to make it 4-1. Then we had fights between Gord Deneen and Chris Chelios, and then Marty McSorley fought Gilles Thibodeau. And then in the third period, Wayne Gretzky scored his 70th goal of the season from Richie Dunn and Mike Gartner, and then Randy Wood from Mike Gartner and Chris Contos. That goal was at 17:19 of the third, so there were 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the game. We just couldn't get that tying goal. Gordonine and Chris Chelios fought at the start of the third period as well. So another loss, that's 3 straight losses. And Ron Greshner is hurt. I do not have any puck-moving defensemen left. Look at me. Trying to do something good for my team, and I'm being punished. That sounds very familiar. He's only day-to-day. Alright, so Mark Lavar has been put on waivers by the Rangers. So did Ross Fitzpatrick. Ken Berry has been put on waivers by Montreal, and Ryan Walter has been put on waivers by the Minnesota North Stars. I'm not going to claim any of those guys. Paul Coffey's point streak ended at 15 games. It was held scoreless against the Flames. Dave Gainey extends his point streak to 12 games. That was an assist against the Chicago Blackhawks. A good night for Denis Savard in that same game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the North Stars. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 12 games with an assist against the Jets, and that was 8 straight games for him with an assist. And Ray Shepard is not ready for contact, so we might see him come back rather than later. Now we have a couple days off, and then we're going to be playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins. See, that's exactly what I just said. Ray Shepard back sooner rather than later. This game is brainwashing me. Yeah, we need you, Ray. Alright, one more day off. Gary Suter is back from suspension with the Flames, back in the lineup. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 13 games. He had an assist against the Washington Capitals, so that's 9 straight games with an assist for him. Ray Shepard is almost 100%. Does that mean that he plays today against Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh is in town. They are 39, 24, and 6. They have a very good team, but we won both games in Pittsburgh so far. Last one was a 6-1 win, so we are 2-0 against Pittsburgh this season. This time we are playing them at home for the first time. Let's see if we can beat them. Ray Shepard is gonna play. He's gonna start on the 4th line because he's not 100%, but he's gonna play. Ray Shepard, welcome back. I love you. Not literally, but I do. My love for you is not pure. It's very self-serving. I need you in the lineup. All right. Don Beaupre is going to be in net for Pittsburgh. We're going to go with Glenn Healy. Come on, guys. We need to bounce back. We need a win. And we won 7-4. Take that, Super Mario. We outshot Pittsburgh 30-21. Richie Dunn was the first star of the game with 3 assists. Look at that. Mike Gartner was the second star with 2 goals, and then Luc Robitaille was the third star with an assist. Another sellout crowd in LA. Wayne Gretzky opened up the scoring from Randy Ladouceur. Then Pittsburgh tied the game, and then we scored 2 more goals. Scott Arniel from Bob Kudelski and Marty McSorley. Then Mike Gartner from Richie Dunn and Marty McSorley. 3-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, the Pittsburgh Penguins scored twice to tie the game. Then Mike Gartner scored from Chris Kontos and Scott Arniel. Mike Ridley from Ron Duguay and Luc Robitaille also scored. 5-3 Kings after 2. And there was a fight between Gord Deneen and Kevin Stevens. And in the third period, the Pens made it 5-4 with a goal, but then Gerald Deduck scored from Ron Duguay and Richie Dunn. And then Ray Shepard, welcome back in the lineup, scored in an empty net. Hey, I'll take it. From Dan Gratton and Richie Dunn, 7-4 the final score. Yeah, we needed that. Russ Fitzpatrick is yet again on waivers, and so is Darren Pang, the 3'3" goaltender. Oh, 5'5", sorry, got it wrong. He was pretty small. Alright, Dave Gainey extends his point streak to 13 games. He had 3 assists against the Rangers. Pretty good game for Dave Gainey there. Big game for Guy Lafleur. Still has some gas in the tank at 38 years old. 4 assists against Minnesota in that same game. Joe Sakic's point streak ended at 13 games. Was held scoreless against the Devils. Larry Murphy, sidelined with calf strain. That's not good for the Capitals. They probably need him pretty bad. 3 weeks out of the lineup. Suspension for Ed Olchuk. He's going to miss 4 games. Ray Shepard is completely recovered, and I am rejoicing on the inside. You cannot really tell in my face, but I'm actually pretty happy. And Doug Gilmour extended with Calgary here, so 5-year extension, $490,000 per. So 5 years, 26 years old, Doug Gilmour, 5-star player. Yeah, it's a pretty solid signing there. It's not that much money for a pretty impact player. Well, I say it's not a lot of money. I would take $490,000 like right now, but you know, in the grand scheme of the NHL and things, you know, it's not that much money. Alright, 1 day off, and then we're going back on the road. It's going to be a pretty lengthy one, too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the road, so we better bring our A game with us. Alright, Steve Rooney has been put on waivers, so did Rod Busquets. I could claim either of them, but I will not. League says no suspension for Steve Larmer. You need to be healthy so that you can win the Selke every season in NHL 95, sorry. Gary Galley to resume skating, alright. Yeah, we kind of need that. Alright, Greshner is still hurt, though. So, with a sore knee, I understand you're 35, man, but I'm older than that, and I would play with a sore knee. Not really liking your dedication to the team so far. It's 1990, you should be playing hurt, and have no regard for your own safety. Alright, Kings at Rangers. Rangers are 38, 26, and 6. We are 1-0-1 against the Rangers. So far, we've only played them at home. It's going to be the first time we play at Madison Square Garden this season. So let's hope we have a win here. So, yeah, that's close to my ideal lineup here. Except I would like to have Greshner here instead of Richie Dunn, but he's hurt. And maybe a little bit more help on the left wing, but yeah. Now starting next year, I should have Andrew Castles here that's gonna fit really nicely in that, you know, center line. Should look pretty good. Alright, Glenn Ely in net for us. John Van Beesbrook in net for the Rangers. Go Kings, go! Go Kings, go! 4-4 tie against the Rangers, a good team at Madison Square Garden. A little bit of a scary arena, if it's such a thing. So I'll take it. I'll take the tie. I'm not overly upset with that. Oh, star players! Look at that. They're showing me Mike Kruszenki, just to taunt me because I just traded him there. We outshot the Rangers 38-20. Alright, so Van Beesbrook had a pretty good game. And look at that, Mike Kruszenki, first star of the game against his former team. He had a goal and an assist. Chris Kontos was the second star with a goal and an assist. Mike Lavar was the third star with a goal and an assist as well. Alright, so we open up the scoring in the first. Gerald Gallant scored his 5th goal of the season from Mike Ridley. It was 1-0 Kings, and then it looked like the wheels fell off the wagon. Rangers scored 3 unanswered goals before the end of the period. It was 3-1 Rangers after 1. It didn't look too good for us at that point. Then in the second period, the Rangers scored again. It was 4-1, and I was probably like freaking out. But then we showed some good character. Mike Gartner scored in the third period from Wayne Gretzky and Randy Ladouceur, made it 4-2. Chris Kontos scored his 15th from Scott Arniel and Jeff Smith, made it 4-3. Jim Fox scored his 15th as well from Gord Deneen and Chris Kontos. It was tied at 4 after 3. And then there was a fight also between Thomas Sandstrom and Randy Ladouceur. Doug Gilmour extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had a goal and 3 assists against the Jets. Well, that's pretty good. That's a nice way to celebrate his new contract extension. He didn't sit on his ass and not do anything for 10 games. Went right back in the fray and got, you know, a little 4-point game. Dino Ciccarelli extends his goal streak to 5 games. With 2 goals and 2 assists against Toronto, another pretty good performance. Vincent D'Anfous in that same game had a great game as well, 4 assists for him. Dave Gainey extends his point streak to 14 games, a goal and 3 assists against the Leafs in that game as well. And Pat LaFontaine extended with the Islanders. That's a 4-year deal, $400,000 per year. Wow, that's also a pretty decent deal. I'd take Pat LaFontaine on the team at $400 per for 4 years at 25 years old. I totally would do that. All right, we have a day off, and then we're going to be in Buffalo to play against the Sabres. We're going to be facing some former Kings there as well, because I traded with them as well. Dino Ciccarelli has achieved 400 goals in his career, goal and an assist against the New Jersey Devils. That was a 6th straight game with a goal for him. Dave Gainey extended his point streak to 15 games with an assist in the same game. Keith Acton comes back from suspension with the Oilers. And so does Mark Messier, who was also suspended. Alright, playing the Sabres. So they are 33-33-5, so they're playing for 500. We are 1-1 against Buffalo this season. Come on, Kings. Give me a W here. Make me proud. Rolly Melanson in net for us. Olaf Kolzig in net for Buffalo. That's weird to see Kolzig with the Sabres. Oh, yeah, 7-0 win for the Kings. Look at that. Olaf Kolzig was not good enough in that one. Yeah, we didn't get that many shots. We did outshoot Buffalo to 29-26. Rolly Melanson first out of the game, 26 saves, shout out, W, accolades, Uggs, steak dinner, all of the good stuff. Second star was Mike Gartner with a goal and 2 assists, and Luc Robitaille was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. Right, so Ray Shepard opened up the scoring in the first. That was a power play goal from Jeff Smith and Luke Robitaille. Then Wayne Gretzky scored from Gord Deneen and Scott Arniel. 2-0 Kings after one. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Mike Ridley and Ray Shepard. Made it that was 3-0 for the Kings after two. And then we scored 4 goals in the third period. Luke Robitaille from Mike Gartner and Wayne Gretzky. Then Ray Shepard from Randy Wood and Mike Ridley. Mike Gartner scored his 20th short-handed goal from Randy Wood and Gerald Gallant. And then Luke Robitaille from Mike Gartner and Gord Deneen. 7-0 trouncing of the Sabres. Ray Shepard is hurt again. Thankfully, that's a day-to-day playable injury. His name is still in white, so we're good. Alright, so Ray Shepard is injured day-to-day. That's okay. What is it? What do you need? You have a hamstring cramp. Is that it? You're day-to-day because you have a cramp? Larry Robinson played in his 1,250th game of his career. Didn't get a point. That was against Edmonton. Larry Robinson is 38 and still a 3.5-star defender. One of the great ones for sure in the history of the NHL. Strong game for Vinny Danfus with the Leafs. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Rangers. Charlie Simmer is contemplating retirement. He plays for the Nordiques now. He's 35, 2-star player. Ron Greshner might be back soon. About time, man. I didn't acquire you so that you can chill at home with a sore knee. Jeez. It's the start of the 90s. The players don't take off to be with their wives when they give birth. So what makes you think that you can stay home with a sore knee? Come on. Get with the times, man. Alright, we have a couple of days off and then we're going to be in Boston to play against the Bruins. Doug Gilmour extends his assist streak to 9 games, 2 assists against the Devils. Red Wings, Gerard Gallant is suspended yet again. This time he's going to miss 12 games. What did he do? Brendan Lemieux in real life bit Brady Tkachuk. I was there live. I didn't know that's what was going on at the time. I was there live. He got 5 games for biting somebody. Gerard Gallant just got 12 games. And Lemieux is a recidivist too, so what did Gallant do? Did he like bring a chainsaw to the game or something? I don't know, but man. Well, at least Paul McLean is coming back from suspension with the Red Wings, so there's that for them. Alright, now Ron Greshner is telling me, well, I guess I can play if you need me. Jeez, yeah, I'd rather stay at home. Right, one more day off. Ron Greshner is good, is ready to go. Good. Alright, in Boston, to play at the Boston Garden, small arena. I wish I could have gone there for a game in my lifetime, but it did not happen. I was too young. Didn't have any money. Alright, so we are 2-0 against the Bruins this season. Boston is 24, 38, and 11. It's not a good record, but they kind of brought it back up because they started the season with like 9 straight losses or something like that. I remember we faced them like near the... I want to say at the start of November or the end of October, right around the 10-game mark, and I think they had no wins or just one or something like that. So they kind of brought it back up, but that's still not good. Alright, come on, Kings. You can do this. Rody Melanson back in net, of course. He got the shutout last game. I have no problems with that. Reggie Lemelin is going to be in net for the Bruins. And that's a 3-1 win for the Kings. Alright, we're playing better now. We outshot Boston 31-23. Jim Fox was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Randy Burridge was the second star with an assist. And Mike Ridley was the third star with a goal and an assist. Right, no scoring in the first. We did get some face punching though. Cam Neely and Randy Ledusser punched each other. And it was a 0-0 tie after one. Then in the second period, Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Luc Robitaille and Mike Ridley. It was 1-0 Kings after two. And at the start of the third, the Bruins tied game, but about 4 minutes later, Jim Fox scored from Richie Dunn and Wayne Gretzky. It was 2-1 Kings, and then Mike Ridley scored his 20th in an empty net. With 2 seconds left to go in the game from Jim Fox and Ron Greshner, it was a 3-1 Kings victory. Yay! Uh-oh. That's not good, folks. Wayne Gretzky is injured and his name is in red. Oh boy. Oh, he's day-to-day. Whew. It's a 1 to 2 weeks. Knee contusion. Come on, Wayne. Gretzky out of action listed as day-to-day. Doug Gilmore's assist streak ended at 9 games. He did get a goal, though, that was against the Waivers. Oilers' Keith Acton is suspended yet again. That's the second time this month that he's suspended. This time he's going to miss 8 games. Yari Curry has a great game. He had a hat-trick in that same game against the Devils. Prolific passing night for Mark Messier. Same game, 4 assists. Dave Gagne's point streak ended at 15 games, no point against Pittsburgh. Good night for Joe Sakic. Oh yeah, pretty good. 3 goals and 2 assists against the Flyers. So we had a discussion in LA with JT Dutch about who was my favorite forward of all times, and I said Joe Sakic, and I'm probably going to stick to that. There's a few other forwards that I really liked, but Joe Sakic was like the kind of guy that, you know, I don't think nobody had disrespect for him. You know, he was a calm guy, very productive, you know, not a dirty player by any means. Pretty good player all around. But anyway, he got 5 points against the Flyers. Good night for Steve Yzerman as well. And he's probably my number 2 forward on my list of favorite, you know, forwards of all time. And he's a guy that's pretty much in the same mold as Joe Sakic, you know. So 3 goals and an assist for Yzerman against the Blues. Ed Olchuk's suspension ends in Toronto, back in the lineup over there, and Ray Shepard is feeling better. That's good, because Wayne Gretzky is feeling like shit, and he's not going to be playing. Oh, former LA King Paul Fenton is on waivers. I think I'm going to just keep Gretzky here. I'd rather have Gretzky play with, you know, a playable injury than not have him in the lineup. You know, it's 1 to 2 weeks. I might be able to recoup some of that time. Otherwise, if I put him on the injured reserve, it would be a 10-day automatic that I don't have him, and he could miss games. And yeah, it's Wayne Gretzky. You know, I wouldn't do that if it was, you know, Ken Baumgartner. He would go straight to the injured reserve. But we're talking about Gretzky here, so. All right, now we're playing in Philly against the Flyers without Gretzky. Let's see if we can continue to win games on the road. Flyers are 33-34-5, so just under 500. We are 0-2 against the Flyers this season. We have not been able to beat them, so let's see if that changes today. Yeah, that's where you see that Wayne Gretzky is very important to my team, because Mike Ridley turns up to be wow, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at my lineup and I'm like, Ray Shepard is not playing. And then I look at my Ds and Greshner is not playing, and I'm like, I think we're fucked. I think we are. Alright, Glenn Ely in net for us, Ron Extall in net for the Flyers. Yeah, we lost 3-2. I wasn't expecting for us to win here. Alright, Flyers outshot us 29-27. Kerry Hoffman was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Chris Kontos was the second star with a goal as well. And Jeff Courtnall, that was acquired from Washington earlier this year for Scott Mellenby, was the third star with a goal as well. Alright, Flyers open up the scoring in the first period. And then we had a fight between Ron Sutter and Randy Ladouceur. Then the Flyers in the second period scored 2 more goals. It was 3-0 for the Flyers. Then Mike Gartner scored from Randy Wood and Mike Ridley. 3-1 Flyers after 2. Chris Kontos scored in the third period from Jim Fox and Luc Robitaille. It was 3-2. And there were still like 12 minutes and some change left to play. We just couldn't tie the game. There was a fight between Terry Cartner and Marty McSorley as well. But we lost that one 3-2. It's hard to win without Wayne. Alright, Ray Shepard is fully recovered, thank God. Stop being hurt, man. I'm gonna put you in a chainmail or something. Alright. So, day off. Gary Lehman has a memorable game. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Blackhawks. And now we're in Minnesota to play against the North Stars. North Stars are 26-39-8. That's good for 9th in the conference. We are 1-1 against them this season. Let's see if we can win this one game here without Wayne. Alright, so Glenn Ely is going to be in net for us. Kari Taco is going to be in net for the North Stars. And it is a 7-3 win against Minnesota. Doug Keens is smiling there behind his mask. I guess he doesn't give a flying fudge about losing. Oh yeah, we outshot Minnesota 50-23. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Mike Ridley was the second star with 3 assists. And Ray Shepard was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Sorry, my throat was starting to feel weird, so I sent some tar down. Not tar, coffee, but same difference. Alright, so Minnesota opened up the scoring in the first period, and then we scored 4 unanswered goals after that. Luc Robitaille scored on the power play from Ray Shepard and Ron Greshner, then Chris Kontos from Gerald Deduck and Jim Fox. Luc Robitaille from Mike Gartner and Mike Ridley. And then Luc Robitaille completed his hat-trick on the power play and that was his 35th of the season as well. From Ray Shepard and Ron Greshner, it was a 4-1 lead for the Kings after 1. Some fighting here between Larry De Palma and Gord Deneen. Then in the second period, Minnesota scored, made it 4-2. Then we scored 3 goals. Marty McSorley from Mike Ridley and Luc Robitaille. Then Jim Fox scored on the power play from Ron Duguay and Mike Ridley. Ray Shepard scored from Randy Ladouceur. It was 7-2. Then Minnesota scored to make it 7-3. And nobody scored in the third period, but Rob Brown and Gerald Deduck got into a fight, and that was it. A nice 7-3 win for the Kings on the road here. Alright, so big game for Luc Robitaille. We saw that. We were there. 3 goals and an assist. That's pretty good. And Tim Kerr is back in the lineup for the Flyers. Alright, so now we have a stretch of home games and then 2 road games, and then it's the end of the season. So what I'm going to do... Yeah, I'm going to play until the end of the regular season, I think. Yeah, it's only 1 game, so I'm going to play until the end of the regular season. And then next time out, I'm going to go ahead and do the playoffs and then the off-season stuff. And then the preseason. Unless I win the cup, then I'm done. And then it's like, get out of here. But I don't think I'm going to win the cup. I haven't brought my D to a level that I like yet. Maybe one day, but it is not there yet. Alright, so one day off, and then we're going to be hosting the Islanders. Mike Ballard extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Oilers. Memorable game for Claude Lemieux. He had a hat trick against the Jets. Alright. So we are hosting the Islanders. They are really good. 46-21-8. We are 0-2 against them this season. We have not beaten the Islanders this season. Kitty Rudy is going to be in net for the Islanders. We're going to go with Rody Melanson. Come on, Kings. Oh yeah, we won 5-3. Some resilience by the Kings, finally. Even without Wayne Gretzky, we're able to beat one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league. We outshot them 35-23. Ray Shepard was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Raimo Elmanen was the second star with 3 assists. And Chris Kontos was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Full crowd here in Inglewood to watch us win this game, 5-3. Ray Shepard opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 10th of the season from Chris Kontos and Scott Arniel. Then the Islanders scored to tie the game. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Chris Kontos scored from Scott Arniel and Ray Shepard. Then Luc Robitaille scored on the power play from Jim Fox and Ron Greshner. Then Ron Greshner scored on the power play. That was his 10th goal of the season from Ray Shepard and Jim Fox. 4-1 Kings here after 2. Then in the third period, the Islanders came to within 1 with 2 quick goals near the end of the game. Oh, the stress levels were there. They scored 2 goals in, 38 seconds? Is that what it is? Yeah, I think so. But then Ray Shepard scored with 48 seconds left to go in the game from Richie Dunn and Chris Kontos, and it was a 5-3 victory. There was a fight in the third period. Randy Ladouceur and Bob Basson fought, and that was pretty much it. Jeff Courtnall extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against Pittsburgh. Alright, so now we're going to be hosting St. Louis. St. Louis is not very good. They are 29, 40, and 7. That's good for 7th in the conference. We are 1-1 against the Blues this season. Alright, so Greg Millen is going to be in net for St. Louis, and we are going to go with Glenn Ely. And we won 4-2, another home victory for the Kings here. So down the stretch here, we're able to do stuff. That's good. Alright, so we outshot St. Louis 31-27. Scott Arniel was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Mike Eves. Wait, that was Mike Eves. It was Mike, his name, right? Where is he? Murray Eves. Sorry, I got it wrong. He's right there. Murray Eves, first assist of the season. But anyway, he's the second star with an assist. And Chris Kontos is the third star with 2 assists. Sellout crowd yet again in Inglewood. Blues actually took a 2-0 lead into that game, but then Scott Arniel scored before the end of the period from Ray Shepard and Chris Kontos. 2-1 St. Louis after 1. And we turned things back in the second period. Jim Fox scored on the power play from Luc Robitaille and Ray Shepard. Then Mike Ridley scored from Scott Arniel and Ron Greshner. 3-2 Kings after 2. And then in the third period, Randy Wood scored from Chris Kontos and Mike Gartner. 4-2 Kings, the victory. And there was a fight between Marty McSorley and Tim Waters. Tim Waters used to be on my team. He is not anymore. So nice 4-2 victory. And of course, Luc Robitaille is hurt. because we're about to get into the playoffs. So, you know, my top left winger and my top center have to be out. And my top defenseman, too. Sorry, I can't forget that one. He's day-to-day with a sore elbow. Alright, you get to stay in the lineup, I guess. League watching, Robitaille day-to-day with sore elbow. Alright, yeah, hopefully it's not for too long. It's 1 to 2 weeks as well. Gilles Thibodeau is not suspended with Montreal. He gets to stay in the lineup. And Gary Gallant should be back soon, so that's good. Now Wayne Gretzky has moved to day-to-day, so hopefully he can play soon. We do have 2 days off here before we host the Jets, so hopefully something happens there. The suspension for Jeff Courtnall, playing for the Flyers, is going to miss 3 games. Alright, Igor Liba with the North Stars was suspended. He's going to miss 4 games. Vincent D'Anfous extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had 2 goals and 3 assists against Minnesota. Pretty good game. Mark Osborne extends his assist streak to 8 games in that same game. Goal and an assist. And Gary Gallant is almost back. That's going to help for sure. Alright. We are hosting the Jets. The Jets are now 30, 43, and 4. That's good for 8 in the conference. We are 4-2 against them, so we have 2 straight home games against them. And yes, I know I always say it, and I'm getting really annoying with that, but one of them is probably a neutral site game. You got to drill it in your head so that you know that in that time period those were a thing. Alright. Let's see how we can do without Robitaille and Gretzky. Frank Caprice in net for the Jets. Glenn Healy in net for us. Go Kings go. We need a little support here. Yeah, we got trounced 7-2. That's not good. Oh yeah, especially with the amount of shots that they got. We outshot them 25-24. We allowed 7 goals on 24 shots. Dear God. Thomas Steen was the first star of the game. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. Robert Nordmark was the second star with 2 assists, and I don't know who that guy is. Herter. What's his name? Jason Herter was the 3rd star with an assist. Sorry, some of those guys I don't know. Like, we're entering right, you know, I was still pretty young and just starting to watch hockey, so I was pretty much paying only attention to the Nordiques, so I'm, you know, some of those names are not familiar. Sellout crowd yet again to watch that disaster of a game. Winnipeg opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 for them at that point. Nobody fought. Then the Jets scored twice in the second period, made it 3-0. Then Scott Arniel scored his 10th from Ray Shepard and Chris Contos. It was 3-1 for the Jets at that point, and then they added 2 more, so we were down 5-1 after 2. Then they scored again, made it 6-1. Ray Shepard scored unassisted, made it 6-2. Then they added 1 more goal, and finally the game was over. It was about time. We had a fight between Gerald Deduck and Brad Berry in the 3rd period as well. We're going to need to bounce back in the next game. Thomas Steen keeps fans on their feet all night. He had 3 goals and 2 assists, as we saw. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Steve Yzerman. 4 assists against Buffalo. Theo Fleury has a good game. He had a hat-trick against the Islanders. Dan Quinn lights the lamp. He had 4 goals and an assist against the Hartford Whalers. Neil Sheehy has a memorable game. In that same game, he had 4 assists. And red light stays on for John Ogrodnik. He had a hat-trick against the Quebec Nordiques. Alright, we're going to go ahead and advance one day. We have a day off. Mark Osborne's assist streak ended at 8 games. He was held scoreless against the Islanders. And Gary Gallant is really close to come back, but he is still not in the lineup. Everybody's day-to-day. But those guys can't play. So we're hosting the Jets again. They are still 8th. They still don't have a good record, but we are 4-3 against them now. Come on, guys. Oh man, you know you're in trouble when Randy Wood is on your first line. Frank Caprice in net for the Jets. Roddy Melanson in net for us. And we lost 8-5. Yikes. We were outshot 44-31. Ian Duncan was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. Doug Smale was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And I think it's Anu Yarvanpa was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. Another sellout crowd for that disaster. Mike Gartner opened up the scoring in the first from Jeff Smith and Ken Baumgartner. 1-0 Kings. Then the Jets tied the game. Then we scored twice. Randy Wood scored his 10th from Gerald Deduck and Mike Ridley. Then Bob Kudelski from Jim Fox and Mike Ridley. 3-1 Kings. At that point, the Jets added another goal before the end of the period. It was a 3-2 lead for the Kings after 1. Then the Jets scored 3 times in the second period. It was 5-3 Jets. Then Dan Gratton made it 5-4, assisted by Jim Fox and Scott Arneal. The Jets scored again. It was 6-4. Then Marty McSorley scored his 5th from Scott Arneal and Ron Greshner. So after 2, we were only down 1. It was 6-5. But in the third period, the Jets added 2 more goals, and it was an 8-5 loss for us because we have too many injuries. Randy Busick improves at left wing. Wow, that's awesome. Too bad that starting next year you're not going to be on the team anymore. Alright, we have 2 days off. Hopefully somebody comes back from injury. Bob Gainey has tallied 1,250 games played in his career. Didn't get a point. That was against Chicago. 36 years old, Bob Gainey is 3.5 star players. So Gary Lehman has a good game. In that same game, he had a hat trick against the Blackhawks. And a good night for John McLean with the Devils. He had a hat trick against the Rangers. Oh, we don't have 2 days off. We only have 1 day off. Peter Sundstrom is on waivers, not picking him up. March scouting update from Nick Beverly, my scouting guy. Yeah, I know I have weaknesses, but I don't care. Gary Gallant's coming back, that's good. Wayne Gretzky might play, that's also good. And Al McInnes got extended with the Flames for $315,000 a year for 2 years. Dang. I was ready to offer him a lot more than that on free agency and lose some draft picks to get him. Alright, so... Oh, yeah, Gary Gallant's ready. Okay, what do I want to do here? Yeah, Jeff Smith is the only defenseman that I can send down without fear of losing, but he's playing pretty decently. I think I'm gonna try to pass Richie down on waivers. And then Richie Dunn goes down. Can I send Randy Busick down? Or maybe I shouldn't. I need him right now. Yeah, that's yeah, Richie Dunn, you're the guy that's going down. I mean, you're not good at anything. There you go. Richie Dunn on waivers. It has been done. Will he be claimed? I don't know. Maybe. Alright, so we're going for 2 games on the road here. So we're going to be in Vancouver to play against the Canucks. Canucks are 1953-7. That is ridiculously bad. They are way down in the last spot in the conference. We are 6-1 against them this season. We have Gerard Gallant back, but not Wayne Gretzky. So let's see if we can win this game. Glenn Ely is going to be in net for me. Kirk McLean is going to be in net for the Canucks. And if you can hear that noise in the background, those are the tornado sirens that get tested every Saturday here starting at 12 p.m. So yeah, that's what's going on. If you can't hear them, maybe I'm just making stuff up to sound interesting. Who knows? Alright, and we lost in Vancouver against the worst team in the league. We lost 4-1. We outshot them 34-26. Paul Reinhardt was the... Wait, it's Paul, right? Yeah. Was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Kirk McLean was the second star with 33 saves. Pretty good performance by Kirk. And then Sanderlin was the third star with a goal and an assist. So Vancouver scored first in the first period. Then they scored again in the second. It was 2-0. Then Scott Arniel scored from Ray Shepard and Randy Ladouceur. It was 2-1 Vancouver after 2. There was a fight between Randy Boyd and Gerald Gallant, and then Steve Bozek and Marty McSorley. Then in the third period, they added 2 more goals. 4-1. 4-1 the final score. Yeah, not a game I'm too happy with. And now Randy Busick is hurt. Not that it matters. Easy day today. Alright. Pellier Clune has a strong game playing for the Flyers. He had 4 assists against the Islanders. Right. Oh dear God. Ron Greshner sold more jerseys than Wayne Gretzky. Can you believe it? I can't, but it's right there on my screen, so it must be true. Right, Wayne Gretzky might be coming back. That's good. Yeah, nobody sold many jerseys in the NHL as far as the Kings go. Right, so the players of the month were Doug Gilmour and Bill Ranford. So Alberta got really well represented there. And now we're going to be playing against the Calgary Flames. Gretzky can play. He has his injury is playable now, so I'm not going to move anybody. Oh, did Richie Dunn get claimed or not? He didn't. Alright, well, I guess I have somebody that I can rely on as far as defenseman goes. Man, I'm really thin at forward as far as my depth goes. Thankfully, Andrew Castles is coming next year, folks. And then who knows what I'm gonna do. I don't know myself. Alright, playing the Flames now. Flames are 44, 26, and 9. They are second in the conference. They are, that's the last game of the season. We're 9 points back. So they are assured to finish atop of our division. They can leapfrog the Blackhawks. They're 1 point behind. So who knows what's going to happen there. And then I believe that it's not a done deal no, I think it is. Yeah, I think that the team we're going to be facing in the first round is the team that took us out of the playoffs last season. I think we're going to start the playoffs against the Oilers, if I remember how the playoff format works in 1990. But anyway, let's play the Flames. Last game of the season. Gretzky is back. Roddy Melanson in net for us. Rick Wamsley in net for the Flames. I didn't say what our record was against the Flames because I forgot, but it was really bad, like 3-5 or 2-5 or something. And we won last game of the season against the Flames. We won 4-3 in overtime, so the Flames finish second in the conference. They cannot get past the Blackhawks at this point. We outshot the Flames 30-26. Gerard Gallant was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Gary Roberts was the second star with 3 assists. And Wayne Gretzky, welcome back in the lineup, Wayne. Thank you. Third star, 2 goals and an assist. Alright, so Gerard Gallant opened up the scoring in the first from Ron Duguay. It was 1-0 Kings at that point. Then there was a fight between Dana Merzen and Marty McSorley. Then in the second period, the Flames scored twice. It was 2-1 Calgary after 2. Then in the third period, Wayne Gretzky scored his 75th goal of the season on the power play that was unassisted. It tied the game. Then Mike Gartner scored from Wayne Gretzky and Gerard Gallant. It was 3-2. And then the Flames tied the game. And there was still quite a bit of time, but nobody scored. And it went in overtime. And in overtime, Wayne Gretzky played the hero from Gerard Gallant and Mike Gartner. 4-3 victory for the Kings in overtime. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Wayne Gretzky extended his point streak to 12 games with 2 goals and an assist. Dave Andreychuk lights the lamp. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Quebec Nordiques. Pretty good game. Jeff Courtnall is back in the lineup just in time for the playoffs for the Flyers. Glenn Anderson is suspended for the Oilers. He's going to miss 1 game. So if we do play the Oilers in the first round, he's going to miss the first game. And Bruce McNall is satisfied. He's only satisfied. Oh, how can I please you, Bruce? It's not my fault that our best players got hurt all season. Or suspended. Luc Robitaille got suspended twice, I think, if I recall. Alright, so I'm going to advance until we know the playoff matchups. Alright, don't really care. Wayne Gretzky on the edge of returning, yeah. If we can have Wayne Gretzky healthy in the playoffs, who knows what might happen. Oh, yeah, I forgot that was going to happen. Alright, so we're going to look at the nominees for the different trophies. The nominees are Paul Coffey, Steve Yzerman, and Wayne Gretzky. The Vizina, Greg Millen, John Van Beesbrook, and Peter Sidorkiewicz. Wow. The Norris Trophy is going to be between Al McInnes, Paul Coffey, and Sylvain Côté. Wow, Sylvain Côté, huh? Well, a 70-point season. That's not too shabby. Calder is going to be between Darren Turcotte, Mark Vermette, and Vincent Riendo. GM of the Year, Bill Torrey, Bob Pulford, and Cliff Fletcher. I'm not in there as usual. I was there last year. I'm never going to see my name there again. You can't forget it. The Selkie is going to be between Greg Gilbert, Kelly Buckberger, and Mike Eagles. Lady Bing between Adam Oates, Brett Hall, and Ron Francis. Mark Messier Leadership Award between Dale Hunter, Ray Bork, and Steve Yzerman. So Mark Messier is not nominated for his own trophy. Ted Lindsay Award is going to be between Paul Coffey, Steve Yzerman, and Wayne Gretzky. Of course, the Art and Ted Lindsay are always the same 3 nominees for both. Jack Adams is going to be between John Ferguson, Larry Plow, and Terry Simpson. Gretzky is completely recovered, and Luc Robitaille might be ready to play to start the playoffs. That's good. No news on Randy Busick, but do we want news on him? I'm sure his mom does. She's probably worried. Alright, so Robitaille is almost completely recovered. So the playoffs start today, so I am not simming any further, and it is as I suspected. We are facing the Oilers in the first round of the playoffs. So the playoff 3 looks like this. So, oh. So the Quebec Nordiques were able to sneak into the playoffs after all. So in the Wales conference, Quebec is going to face Hartford, and then Buffalo will face Montreal. Flyers will face the Islanders, and then the Rangers are going to play against Pittsburgh. And in our conference, St. Louis is going to play Chicago, Toronto is going to play Detroit, and the Winnipeg Jets are going to play against the Calgary Flames, and we will play the Oilers. So who wins the cup this season? We will find out another time. Let's take a look at our stats for the season. So Wayne Gretzky ended the season with 138 points in 73 games. So he did miss 7 games at the end of the season, or near the end of the season, with an injury. Luc Robitaille had 96 points in 73 games. I think it's safe to say he would have had 100 had he played all the games. Jim Fox, Mike Ridley are next, and then Gary Gallant was our best offensive defenseman with 57 points in 66 games. That's pretty good. All right, let's take a look at this year. So despite missing time, Wayne Gretzky finished first in goals scored with 76. That's 14 more than second place Brett Hall. Best passer was Paul Coffey with 89 assists, and the best scorer was Gretzky with 138 points. That's 16 more than second place Brett Hall and Dan Quinn. They both have 122. All right. Yeah. Part of our problems are explained here. Neither of our goaltenders had a save percentage over 900. Part of it is on our D. I know that. I know where the problem is. It's hard. To quote a former GM who just recently lost his job in the NHL in real life, it's hard to make trades. Alright. So we're going to need to do better regarding that. So I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. We know exactly where we're at. So next time out, the playoffs, the off season, the preseason, and yeah, that should take a while, especially if I'm looking at free agents and everything. Sometimes that can take a while, so yeah. But anyway, so as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube later and you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. Thank you.